Hi, I'm Rachel Bailey, and this is another episode of 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, where I'll be giving you effective, if not intuitive, strategies for handling frustrating behavior in a respectful way. So, I talk a lot about motivating cooperation because our children's lack of cooperation is one of the most common things that sends us parents into the yelling, nagging, threatening, and all those other behaviors that we later regret. So, today I'm going to mention a strategy that will help you motivate cooperation in a way that works and just feels better. So when you ask your child to do something and she doesn't listen, you probably feel frustrated, helpless, and angry. And our instinct is to make the same request again, maybe louder and more forcefully or firmly as we have to repeat it more and more often. But have you noticed that that might not work so well? Let me give you an example that explains maybe why not. So I was doing my 3-year-old's hair one day, and she kept telling me what I was doing wrong. She kept saying, "No, don't do it that way," or "I don't like that." And she was getting frustrated and speaking more loudly and forcefully because I wasn't doing what she wanted me to do. And so I was getting frustrated, and I thought, "Hey, stop telling me what you don't like. Tell me what you do want me to do. I'm not psychic." And guess what? Neither are our children. And they have even fewer tools to know how to handle things or do things that we want them to do. So we tell them things like, don't be disrespectful, but do we tell them what they should do to handle their feelings of frustration in a more respectful way? Or we tell them, don't drink when all of your friends might be drinking at that party, but do we tell them how to stand up for themselves, even when it might be extremely uncomfortable? So here's tip number one. Realize when you're always telling your children what not to do. Because when we use not all day long, not only do we frustrate our kids, but we make them feel less confident because they're not always sure what to do instead. And not only that, but telling them what not to do all day creates a really negative tone. I mean, what does it feel like to say, no, you can't do that, or stop that, or don't do that all day long? And how do you think it feels for our kids to hear that all day long? So what's the alternative? That's tip number two. When you're setting your boundary, focus on what they can do. So instead of saying, don't talk to me like that, you can tell them, if you're upset with me, please let me know by saying, Mom, that upsets me. Or instead of saying, don't drink at the party, tell them, let's come up with ways that we can make not drinking more bearable. Instead of, no, you can't go to your friend's house, you didn't do your homework, you can say, sure, you can go to your friend's house as soon as your homework is done. Or instead of, don't jump on the couch, try, hey, you have a lot of energy. Please go outside or bounce on the trampoline instead. Small changes in how you present your boundaries can make a big difference to your child's level of cooperation and the tone in your home. So that's 2 tips for motivating cooperation in a more positive and still effective way. If you have any questions that you'd like me to address in an upcoming version of 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, feel free to send my way at rachel@parentingbyheart.net. Until then, I'll see you next time.